Hello, welcome back to another episode of Africa Breakdown. I am Average at Best, I play Geoguessr and I make bad choices. Today we are looking at Nigeria. Nigeria drives on the right hand side of the road and it is made up of about 50% shitcam and then Gen 3 and Gen 4. There will be a visible truck of some sort most often. The truck can be a different colour. In Gen 3 there will be a roof rack with this black and yellow hazard tape. Often the car is completely blurred and you will see just a really thin aerial on the right hand side of the truck front. Often you are followed by a police car. The car itself can vary, but you'll always see the blue and red lights. It might be a little way back or kind of around the car, but you will always see that. Nigeria has license plates with a green tinge. You can see this on these cars here, which is a giveaway for the country if you're in Africa, if you know you're in Africa. Poles are concrete. They have some sort of indents here, not dissimilar to Brazil, but they don't have the holes at the top through them. Roads, generally not the best maintained, so you'll see roads without road lines, faded tarmac, broken up potholes, etc, etc is already common. Most houses are single story with these quite steeply pitched roofs and often will have cinder block, breeze block walls going around them as protection. Have a look at any signs that you see, shops, posters, that sort of thing. You will often find city and state names, and that probably is one thing, even as kind of beginner intermediate, worth learning. Obviously the city names, Abuja, Lagos, will show up on the map, but the state names don't, so having an idea of whereabouts the states are is really good. If you have a look in the links below, there is quizzes on Super Duper, I believe, that you can practice the states. It's the only place in Africa to have this shitcam quality. It's just really off. Similar to India coverage, but it should be obvious that you're in Nigeria, or at least Africa, because of the police car, the truck, and so on. Not particularly great lots of elevation in Nigeria. A few places where there are a little bit more hills, and you can click on this elevation map on the Plunkett Guide to have a look more into that. Climate wise, tropical, more to the south, rainforest, monsoon, and then a bit drier as we get higher up, deserty. Due to the way the coverage was made, the seasons, wet and dry season, it might look a lot greener or drier than you expect at certain altitudes, so use that as a guide, but nothing more. Not a huge amount of coverage, main cities and roads in between, and probably more of it kind of south and central of the country. Maps here for Gen 3. Gen 3 is never higher than Abuja, no more north of Abuja. Gen 4 is a little bit more off to kind of southwest, northeast vibe. Shitcam can be found everywhere. Tuk-tuks, maybe something to learn, or particular colours for a few different towns, but not a beginner intermediate thing to learn in my opinion. Mostly Christian in the south and Islamic in the north, and so you'll often be able to tell by the type of clothes people are wearing. Women in hijabs and men in Muslim clothes, more common in the north than in the south. Obviously if you see mosques versus churches, you can hedge a north or south guess. Few little bit more region specific clues. Haystacks in Kaduna, right in the centre. Crops, corn growing north central Kano state. Have a look through this to get a bit more. Specific roads, not really worth learning in the beginner or intermediate levels. A few different police cars, but essentially they'll all look fairly similar. A couple of follow cars that aren't police cars as such, but there'll always be a car behind you. That is about it for Nigeria. Go and learn your states, make bad choices.